Well, hello, we've managed to get a CB. I've just been doing a Cybernet 134 base set, which is Sapphire X 4000, which unfortunately had illegal channels fitted, so that's been done. We covered that this year, so I'm not going to do that again. What we've got here is another Cybernet 134, and this is one of our sets. I don't know how I came by it. It's got a UK 8M10. No idea. And it's been labelled by Mark, and it's got a red sticker, meaning it doesn't work. And also, it has a permanently shoved in power lead. Now, I'm recording on the wrong camera all the time. That's a silly thing to do. Okay, so we're working on a Binatone Speedway, which is this. We've just taken out an illegal modification. We have the high-low power switch had been used to activate the illegal modification, and the extension speaker socket is so wide the plug doesn't stick in it, and therefore needs replacing as well. I also can't find any audio, so we've come into this radio when I've already started it. I've prepared a mic for it, and the first thing we're going to do is see whether we can get the VCO to do anything, having removed the illegal modification. So we need to go the far side of pin 4, and on channel 40 on receive we need 4 volts. That'll do me. Then on transmit we also need 4 volts. Got 4.3, so I'll just pop that down a fraction, and that's done with the trimmer capacitor there. And 4.07, and back to receive 4.04. They are interactive, so you may have to balance them. So we now need to check on channel 1 that it's greater than 2¼ volts. So 2.22 will do me nice on receive, and on transmit 2.4. Okay. Let's put the meter down. So it looks like I've sorted the phase lock loop modification all the time I've been transmitting into no dummy load. I'm glad I did that quickly. Luckily the radio is still working, and it's doing 3.8 watts. So for once somebody's tweaked it up and not tweaked it down like they usually do. Okay, so we'll just go through the 3 coils here. Make sure we've got peak. We're now at 4. I'll just put the picture on, and then you can see. I can hear the meter on this radio banging across for all it's worth when I press transmit. You know what I'm doing? I should have selected channel 20. Let's start again. Just about 4.1 watts. So we will now select the correct trimming tool, and we'll do L4. So what we're trying is maximising that. The next one along, I can't remember its number. And the next one along. So it's just a shade away from 5. just make sure those are all correct. Now we need to adjust L4 clockwise till we read 4.4 watts, and we need to adjust L9 anti-clockwise until the manual says 3.8 watts, but we of course want 4 watts. We're not trying to get we want the maximum power the radio is allowed to do. So there we have 4 watts. You'll appreciate the manufacturers have to set everything low so that if the receiving country opens the container and they're batch tested, which invariably they will be, and if a radio read out of spec, then the whole batch would have to be rejected, and so that's why they're always set low. The supplying dealer is supposed to adjust them to the correct power level, but there aren't any technicians, are there? They just sell them out of boxes, which is why retailers like Boots the Chemist, Woolworths, long gone, and Halford's Auto Shop failed at selling CB radios successfully, and Argos. Right, well, we now have the correct power. So we'll set the meter, if we can see the meter. As I said, it's banging across for all it's worth, and I've got it nicely set there between 3 and 5. I need an electron microscope to see that. And let's look at deviation. I've left the Warlow box in the other room, so we'll use the usual one. To be honest, that's about right. Oh no, it's not. It's over the top. So we need that up and that down. They've got the balance wrong. What, spot on? How about that? Now let's check if the radio is on frequency. So just pop the camera. Whoops, wrong camera. It's camera 2. So it should be 27,79125. It's a bit high. Of course, it's been fiddled with. There we go. That'll do nicely. So that's covered the transmit. So let's have a look at receive. And as I can't hear anything on this radio, might have to go for a lunch break and come back to it. Let's look at the time. Yes, I need to go and have a lunch break. I think we're gonna. I don't think we're going to be throwing this set away. So I think what I'll also do is see if we can pinch one of those off a scrap set. Now this Binatone 5-star I once sent to Radio Cruncher, which he sent me back, has got a power connector on it. So I think we'll have that, and we'll do some of this, and I'll just stop the video and do that and the audio socket behind the scenes. Right, well, let's fast forward a bit because I've been busy behind the scenes. So we've got a temporary socket lashed up here because it's a snap-in type, and I don't have a snap-in one on any scrap chassis. I've trawled our wholesalers' catalogues, I've looked on eBay, and I cannot find a 3.5mm snap-in jack socket. So the issue was the no audio. It's the internal switch inside that socket must be failed, and so there's no audio going through. So we've lashed up that temporary one off a scrap set, and at least we now have audio. Also, I was able to take that socket off and connect that up properly, so that is one task actually finished. So if any of you have got a scrap chassis or scrap one of those snap-in 3.5mm jack sockets, give me a nod, because I'll buy that off you. Right, that now means we can get back to tuning the radio if it works. Yep, there's a bit of something there. That's 3 microvolts we're listening to. Right, let's move that camera across and we'll have a look at the oscilloscope. So we're looking for maximum recovered audio. With the detector coil, just move this around a bit. So we're on that one there in the corner. I gained a little bit there. Right, we'll drop the signal down till we have around about 4 decibels on the cyanide meter, and I'll move the camera to the cyanide meter. So start with the front end. My goodness, that's an improvement. Trying to get the tool in between the wiring. You get one less on this chassis, don't you? You haven't got the one there. It's got a stage less than some of the higher up ones. Okay, so what have we got now? Oh, it's a lot more sensitive. Take a reading. So let's have a look. 20 decibels. It is 0.2. Sorry, it's 2. 20 dB cyanide, 2 microvolts. 12 decibels cyanide. .68. And 10 decibels cyanide. .52. Right, we'll set the S meter, see whether that's correctly at 9 if we can see it. I have to change glasses because I can't see it. It's actually over the top, so it's the adjustment here, and it was banging across, and now that is as it should be on the 9. I'll just recheck that transmit one. That's interesting, we've not got transmit. So there must be something wrong with the switch. Ah, there we go. We've got full 4 watts there. Yeah, that's fine. So we haven't got transmit because I've now put the high power switch in, and the preset must be not set right. There we go, 400 milliwatts. Excellent. Yes, I took a Harrier CB lid off to see how those are wired, because the socket's on the back of those as well. That was straightforward. Back to receive on this. We've done the meter. We just need to make sure the squelch is right. Let's see where it comes in. I'm going to put the squelch to full. Switch the signal generator on. And I'll move this camera so you can see the attenuator controls on the test set. So we're at 0.3 microvolts, 1 microvolts, 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts, 100 microvolts. I want the squelch to come in and open at that. So this is where we adjust the preset, which is the one just here, until it does come in. That's it. I want it to be off, 30 microvolts, on at 100 microvolts. So now we'll check it at the other end. So we've turned the signal generator off. We're going to set the squelch to minimum and switch the signal generator back on, and we'll see where it comes in. That wasn't very good. I'll just reset the squelch again. Try again. And on. Right, try again. So 1 microvolt. Yeah, that's fine now. So it's coming in about 0.5 of a microvolt, and it's disappearing off about 0.3. So that's now reset. So that's it, we're done. I'll just make sure that I'm gonna have to just put some tape round that for now until I can get hold of a socket. I certainly can't send it out to anybody like that. I'm gonna have to acquire one from somewhere. And we'll just connect the speaker, because I've not heard it on its own speaker yet. Yep, that's fine on its own speaker. We'll just put some screws in the case. I'll give that to clean up later. Especially if we put it on the right way around. this radio came without the lid screwed on, so that means we're 4 screws short. So we'll add some. I need 4. Later on we'll do an on-the-air test with Mr. Chippy. I think the next one we'll do, we'll just nip back to doing a ham radio set, I think, next. We did that AKD 4 meter set, the 4001, and we've got an AKD 2001 which is kicking around on the shelves, which is the 2 meter version. So I think we'll just do that. So I'm not trying to make this into a ham radio channel, far from it, but it is interesting to compare like for like when we're setting them up at 4 or 5 watts, so it's very similar to what we're doing on CB. We can go through quite a few bands. My favourite amateur radio band is 70 centimetres, always has been. I'm not really into HF, but as you know, we do have some vintage Heathkit sets here, which slowly are getting sorted out. And the only reason that happened is that our radio club have got some weekly nets on HF, otherwise we would not be bothering there. Right, that's that screwed together. Pop it on the aerial, and no doubt there'll be absolutely nobody there, as usual. Remember, I'm 35 miles from the nearest city. So quite a lot to do on this one. Take out the illegal extra channels and sort out why there was no audio, and of course it was that socket, which it still is that socket because we haven't replaced it yet. 19 Roger. 19 Roger. Well, they're not going to hear me because they're all playing at the burner brigade, aren't they? In fact, we'll leave it on there. Right, so I'll do it on the air test later on, and that's the Binatone Speedway. Sorry about the dodgy start, but I'd ended up pressing the wrong button. All we'd got was a picture of one of our test meters. So we started when I'd taken out the bit of silliness. Thank you for watching Binatone Speedway, Cybernet 134 chassis from 1981.